Jimmy Garoppolo has a leg up in this particular competition. I've lived through this. I've covered Alex Smith against Colin Kaepernick, and there are similarities between Alex Smith and Jimmy Garoppolo and similarities between Colin Kaepernick and Trey Lance. Of course, there are differences as well. But here's the similarities. Practice is more set up for Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo to look good. Because when they're playing well, they're executing from the pocket. Right? I mean, especially Jimmy. Jimmy's not going anywhere. He can't scramble. He can't move. So practice, when there's no need to escape the pocket, run away from a pass rush, just stand there and throw the ball, that's good for Jimmy. Now, it could be good for Trey Lance too, but when Trey Lance is really going to show all the things that make him unique, it's going to be in a real game where he can have those second reaction plays. Play breaks down, it's still alive. He keeps it alive. He scrambles. He does the kind of stuff that Russell Wilson does. He's not going to be able to show that kind of stuff in practice very much. And I say this from experience. Colin Kaepernick always looked worse than Alex Smith in practice. In terms of executing the offense from the pocket, Alex Smith was better in practice. Probably in games too. Just was. And it was funny, Colin Kaepernick would attempt to scramble in 11. He would do it. He would scramble in 11 on 11s, and there's no tackling. He would get 10 yards, you blow the whistle, and it's like, okay, you gained 10 yards, but you didn't really practice the play. The wide receivers didn't get a feel for you, the timing, the throw. It was just you. And in year 2, when he was supposed to be making a push to become the starting quarterback, he was doing that stuff again. And I'll never forget Carlos Rogers in particular laughing loudly at Colin Kaepernick on the sideline and then yelling across the field, "We came to see you throw, Cap." Meaning, we know you can do that. We know you can scramble, but if you're ever going to take this job away from Alex Smith and become the franchise quarterback of this Super Bowl contending veteran team, you got to prove it from the pocket. And he never did in practice. Now, he did it. He had a great debut on the field, but there's a reason there was never a real competition. He didn't earn it in practice. It didn't look that good for Colin Kaepernick in practice. And that's because practice always favors the pocket quarterback. You just can't it's useless for the rest of the team for you to scramble in practice. But in games, that's great stuff. You want them to scramble, the second reaction stuff. So if it's even-ish, if you're saying like, in practice, there's really no difference between Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, that's a good thing for Lance. Because that means when the games come around, he should look a whole lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Because there'll be all that athleticism stuff that Trey Lance can do that Jimmy Garoppolo can't. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm almost grading Trey Lance on a curve because this setting isn't built for him. I remember 10 years ago, Scott Tolzien looked better in practice than Colin Kaepernick. Does that mean Scott Tolzien was a better quarterback than Kaepernick? No. You got to remember that the best assets of Trey Lance aren't being featured in these practices. So if he's holding his own as a pocket quarterback in practice with Garoppolo, that's amazing, especially for a 21-year-old. So what I like to do is I'll chart all completions, incompletions, touchdowns, interceptions. Now, touchdowns aren't as important because that can be inflated by which quarterback gets more reps in the red zone. If one guy gets to throw 15 passes in the red zone and one guy gets to throw 5, well then, maybe you should go by touchdown percentage or something like that. Interceptions are key though. I want to know which quarterback throws the most picks, which guy fumbles, which guy has the most turnover-worthy plays, who makes the best decisions, who's the most accurate, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'll be looking for. But keep in mind, if Trey Lance keeps it even, that's a great sign that he might be better than Jimmy because these kind of quarterbacks don't look – I was not say they don't look great in practice, but they can look way better in games. Way better in games. So if he looks good in practice, that's good.